Hi guys, I'm Danny, and I started a Sunday gym because I've noticed lately that people tend to go to colleges and universities without actually knowing why they're there. Afterwards, starting jobs that are unfulfilling. So I'm interviewing different professionals to see what they have to say and to share their experience and knowledge with you. I hope you enjoy it. Kilian Klein, welcome to the podcast. You're on the air. How you doing?
I'm doing very good. What about you?
Glad to hear. Always well understand. Thank you for joining. The podcast will be focused on three main questions. What do you do for a living? How'd you get there? And how'd you know that this was the way to go? So that's what you do for a living.
So my job is software engineer, which means that in particular I create and design systems that are going to be applications, not necessarily on mobile. It could be on the web, also on the desktop computer. And I'm not exactly a developer. I mean, I am a developer as well, but I gave you the title of software engineer because I also take part in everything that happens before the coding, which is
Is
listening
that
to the
like an
client.
end-to-end process?
Sorry again?
An end-to-end process.
Exactly. So from the taking the needs from the clients, creating documentation, planning everything, and then starting with the coding. So
Right
it
on.
englobes quite everything. Was there another
So
part of your question?
actually, those were three questions. And
Yeah.
how'd you get there?
So how did I get to where I am today?
Yeah.
Yep. So
Was there like
I
an
studied.
example that you followed? Was there like a gut feeling that you had? Was there like an advice from somewhere, a mentor or a parent or someone like that? Basically, how did you went to that position? What did you went through to be on that position that you are right now?
So well, I think it actually became my job quite naturally because growing up I was quite good at school in kind of every type of subjects really. But the one that I excelled at was mathematics. And so, everything that goes with logic, science, and all this, which is the base of what programming is. And so, yeah, I was always interested in a lot of things and also in solving problems. I think that's part of my main focus, how my
So that
brain thinks.
attitude kind of started when you were even in high school or even before high school.
Even before that, I mean, from the youngest age that I can remember of. I mean, back in the days when we didn't have the internet even.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, my brain functions in finding patterns quite easily, and this is what is very useful when you do software engineering, because you often have to represent how the real life works into an informatic system, a digital system, and this is basically recognizing pattern in what exists in real life and making it happen in a digital way. So that's something that was always in me, and then growing up seeing the arrival of the internet, because yes, I am that old, uh, and
I feel
seeing
you.
the potential, yeah, seeing the potential that this system has, it was crazy, and so it made me to see that I could impact the life of a lot of people by doing that job at which I was really good at, and that was also passion, like a hobby growing up, and then it became my job. So it's really nice because now I'm doing a job that is also my passion. So this is very cool.
Which is pretty good. And what was the thing that actually set you on that path? The reason I'm asking this question is because lately, especially for the last, let's say, 10 years, something, folks tend to go to universities, to colleges, get a degrees, and just go out to the open world, and they really don't know what they're doing, and they don't really, they're educated in a field they don't really understand and want. I'm not
Hmm.
against academia, I really am not. But what troubles me is that people somehow lost their way and they don't really rely on their inner talent. Mostly they're following something because somebody said that this should have been done that way, and not because they feel they understand it, which troubles me. and this is actually the point of this podcast. So,
I see.
how did you know that this was the path for you to go? You mentioned you were into mathematics since you were young, but was there anything else like gut feeling, guidance from parents, or something like that? What set you on that path?
Well, as far as I can remember, it's mostly me. I mean, of course, parents in general, they tend to push you to study because, of course, if you have a diploma, it's easier to have an easier life. But yeah, there is also the point of, like you said, following your passions and your gut feeling. For me, it was everything in together. I was contemplating the idea of being a surgeon or something like this, but then it's 9 years of studying where you basically don't have a life, and yeah, you're
I'm
one mistake away from ruining your career, and
I'm one of the few people from my family who is not a doctor, so
so you understand, yeah.
oh
So I
yeah,
was thinking, yeah,
saved a lot
I
of time and disappointed a lot of people.
definitely. And yeah, so I was thinking to this also because I'm someone that really likes helping people, and of course the doctor really directly helps people. But then I saw, like I said, the potential of the internet while growing up. I think the internet arrived when I was about 10 years old or something like this. Nah, probably
A bit
before that.
earlier, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, I could see that there was a potential to help much more people actually than a doctor does, because it's so easy to multiply what you do when you do it in coding. And
Indeed.
I don't know, it was the natural way to just go to university, because you need you can be a developer, even a software engineer, without the diploma, but it's much more complex. And also, I mean, let's face it, the life of being a student, I think it's an experience that I really enjoyed as well, because I'm someone that likes going out, likes partying, likes meeting friends, doing sports and all that. And that's also one of the sides of being a university student.
One of the biggest pluses, according to me, of course, my personal view about the universities and the academia in general, is that you actually tend to get a lot of connections. You tend to
Yes.
meet people that kind of stay with you for a long time, and this is, without any shadow of a doubt, one of the biggest pluses as per me, because the education that is being received is fine, but the world is moving so fast that basically what the young people are being taught is a little bit outdated by the end they're out of there. I mean, that, of course, there are principles that will stay the same
Hmm.
forever, but you can't rely only on those principles.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's very true that even during my 5 years of studying, clearly the places where we learned the most were during internships. I don't know if you had to do internships, but in
Well, they were
software engineering,
mandatory.
yeah, in France, it's kind of almost every year you have to make one, and this is where you learn the most, because it's true problematics that you have to solve, and you have people that worked in the field their whole life. So yeah, indeed, I get your point. And talking about connections, I mean, this is who we are for each other, because I don't know if you wanted to share this with the
Oh,
viewers,
don't worry about it. It's fine.
but yeah, we were together, living together in Denmark when we were doing our Erasmus. I don't know, were you Erasmus there or just foreigners?
No master degree.
Okay, and that's where we met,
Absolutely.
about 10 years ago, I think.
Actually, yeah, it's gonna be 11 years this year.
Wow.
I know, time flies.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember before I went to Denmark, I was in college here in Bulgaria, and it was
Hmm.
called the Danish College back then. I don't know the name now.
Okay.
And we studied economics and finance, and professors that actually taught us weren't exactly professors. We had some professional professors, if that's the thing.
Hmm.
Most of them were basically CEOs and stuff like that, who were basically over there to teach us how to do things. And it was pretty good because the people who were working were having a little bit of benefits, and it was pretty cool because like back then I used to work as a bartender,
Hmm.
and well, normally the professors tend to come see me at my workplace. That was pretty good because they gave me a lot of tips. Like you always have to be, clean shaved. You always have to act like
Uh-huh.
you have $1 million salary. It's just the people don't want to hear about your problems. Just do your job, dude. It was pretty good, especially 'cause I was very young and they really shaped me as a man. It was pretty good.
That's cool.
So that kind of, but unfortunately, as far as I know, that doesn't happen anymore. And I did a lot of research
Hmm.
before I started this.
Okay.
So definitely, internship is truly something special.
Yeah.
And have you at some point had that discussion with either parents, mentors, professors, stuff like that, that you wanted something that you felt that this was for you and you've been discouraged?
Not really, because like I mentioned, I had quite some natural abilities with mostly any subject, and there has been, on the contrary, there has been some professors in my case that pushed me into a certain direction because they saw that I was good in their field and they wanted me to do uh, what was connected to their field. And I already made my choice. I think I sort of always knew that I wanted to do something related to computers, and software in general. So
It's
no,
pretty good.
I haven't
And
had
the
anyone
fact that you
say.
I asked you if you went in a way that somebody told you not to do it or something like that.
Yes. So, like I was saying, it was more the other way around for me. I had people that were pushing so that I would do something because they knew I was good at it. But that's also something a good lesson to be learned, that, like you said before, it's not because you're good at something as well. The other way around. It's not because you're good at something that you have to necessarily follow it if it's not something that you want to do. And in my case, I knew exactly what to do, and no, there hasn't been anyone that tried to discourage me of anything. But I think I was privileged with the fact that I wasn't naturally good in something that I was really passionate about.
That's pretty good, and you actually got lucky, with that kind of a family and that kind of way to
Yeah.
go. That's pretty good because it saves a lot of time. This is actually what I was
Hmm.
relying mostly on. I tend to knew what I was going to do when I was very young. It was pretty nice to know. So that's
That's
basically
cool.
pretty it. Kilian, thank you for your time. Thank you for staying here. Thank you for doing
No
it.
problem.
All the best, man.
Thank you. You too. Bye.
Bye bye. Guys, I hope this one was useful. Please follow the channel on YouTube, Rumble, Gap, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Ring the bell and all the good stuff. Have a nice week ahead, and I'll see you next Sunday.